Hello, and welcome to Gospel Gleanings for this Sunday, March the 1st, 2026. My brothers and sisters, on this second Sunday of Lent, we hear from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 17, verses 1 through 9. Jesus took Peter, James, and John, his brother, and led them up a high mountain by themselves. And he was transfigured before them. His face shone like the sun, and his clothes became white as light. And behold, Moses and Elijah appeared to them, conversing with him. Then Peter said to Jesus in reply, Lord, it is good that we are here. If you wish, I will make 3 tents here, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah. While he was still speaking, behold, a bright cloud cast a shadow over them. Then from the cloud came a voice that said, This is my beloved Son, with whom I am well pleased. Listen to him. When the disciples heard this, they fell prostrate and were very much afraid. But Jesus came and touched them, saying, Rise, and do not be afraid. And when the disciples raised their eyes, they saw no one else but Jesus alone. As they were coming down from the mountain, Jesus charged them, Do not tell the vision to anyone until the Son of Man has been raised from the dead. My brothers and sisters, a wonderful story to accompany us on our Lenten journey is the novel Les Miserables. Many of you have probably seen the Broadway production or the movie. Hopefully, some of you have had the opportunity to read the original book, written by Victor Hugo. It is a powerful story, my brothers and sisters, and it carries a beautiful theme for our Lenten journey. For those who remember it, the story takes place in France, and the main character is a man named Jean Valjean. At the beginning of the story, he has spent 19 years in prison. He was first sentenced to 5 years for stealing a loaf of bread to feed his sister and his 5 children during a time of great poverty. His remaining years were added because he tried to escape. Now he is finally a free man, but after 19 years in prison, his heart has grown hardened toward society and toward his fellow man. As the story opens, Jean Valjean is searching for work and a place to live. Yet he is rejected everywhere he goes. No one wants to hire a former convict, and no one wants to offer him hospitality. He becomes an outcast, unwanted, and alone, until he encounters a kind elderly bishop. This bishop offers him what no one else would, the gift of hospitality. He welcomes him into his home, gives him food, and provides a place for him to sleep for the night. The bishop himself is a humble man with few possessions. His most valuable items are a set of silver plates and utensils, which he uses only when guests are present. But during the night, Jean Valjean rises, steals the silver, and flees. He does not get far. The police catch him, and knowing his criminal past, suspect the silver is stolen. They bring him back to the bishop, expecting the bishop to accuse him and send him back to prison. Instead, the bishop performs an astonishing act of mercy. Seeing the silver in the officer's hands, the bishop says to Jean Valjean, My friend, you forgot to take the silver candlesticks as well. With that, he gives him the candlesticks too, and tells the police the silver was a gift. Then comes the turning point of the story. The bishop speaks words remembered in the musical. Remember this, my brother. You must use this precious silver to become an honest man. By the witness of the martyrs, by the passion and the blood, God has raised you out of darkness. I have bought your soul for God. It is the turning point, my friends. It is the invitation the bishop offers to Jean Valjean. And Valjean must decide, will he accept it, will he embrace it, and will he live it out? Everything else in the story, my friends, the rest of the novel, the rest of the musical, unfolds from this very moment. It shows how Jean Valjean accepts that invitation and allows it to transform the rest of his life. Now, brothers and sisters, as we continue our Lenten journey, God extends that very same invitation to us. But the question remains, do we accept it? Do we embrace it? And do we live it out? God extended that invitation long ago to Abram, saying, Go forth from the land of your kinsfolk, and I will make of you a great nation, and I will bless you. This was the beginning of the covenant with the people of Israel. Yet when we read the Old Testament, we know how often the people struggled to accept that invitation. There were years of idolatry, years of slavery, years of wandering in the desert, years of divided kingdoms and exile. And again, the prophets called the people back to the covenant, back to the original invitation God gave to Abraham, our father in faith. Let's fast forward to this week's gospel. On the second Sunday of Lent every year, we hear the story of the transfiguration. Jesus takes Peter, James, and John up Mount Tabor, and there he is transfigured before them. They catch a glimpse of his glory. But this moment is not meant to be a destination. It's an invitation to continue the journey. Peter doesn't understand that at first. He says, "Lord, let us stay here. Let us build 3 tents." He wants to remain on that mountain. But Jesus knows that the story cannot end there. The only way to the glory of the resurrection is through the way of the cross. Jesus must continue toward his passion and his death. In St. Luke's account of the Transfiguration after they come down the mountain, we read a powerful line. Jesus resolutely determined to journey to Jerusalem. In the original language, it's even stronger. He set his face toward Jerusalem. To set his face toward Jerusalem means he set his face toward his passion, toward his suffering, toward his death, so that the resurrection could become a reality. When Jesus stood on that mountain speaking with Moses and Elijah, they were not talking about the weather. They were speaking about this very mission, his journey to Jerusalem, the fulfillment of the law and the prophets through his passion and sacrifice. And so, my friends, as we continue our Lenten journey, the Lord extends the same invitation to us each day. And the question is, will we embrace it? Will we set our face toward Jerusalem? To set our face toward Jerusalem means picking up our cross each day, dying to ourselves and living more completely for God. Because the greatest temptation Satan places before us is simple. Give me anything and everything except Jesus. My work is more important than Jesus. My school is more important than Jesus. My sleep is more important than Jesus. My desires are more important than Jesus. Money is more important than Jesus. My own will is more important than Jesus. And the list can go on and on and on. So how do we overcome this temptation? Well, we listen to the words the Father speaks of the Transfiguration. This is my beloved Son with whom I am well pleased. Listen to him. The only way to set our face toward Jerusalem is to listen to Jesus. And we cannot listen unless we spend time with him. Do we come before the altar to spend time with him? Do we visit him in the Adoration Chapel? There is no reason, my brothers and sisters, that our Adoration Chapel should not be filled every hour of the day. Sometimes people say, I sat for 15 minutes and God didn't say anything. Then sit for 20. If not 20, stay for 30. If not 30, stay for the hour. Eventually, God speaks. But the question is, do we show up? Do we commit ourselves? Many say, I just don't have time. If we were truly that busy, then we were too busy, because we placed everything else before Jesus. Is there a convenient time? Go at 4 a.m. You are probably not doing much then, except sleeping. Yes, it is hard. But the Christian life is not about convenience. It is about conversion. We all have excuses, myself included. We are all tempted to place other things before our relationship with Jesus Christ. Jean Valjean accepted the bishop's invitation, and it became the turning point of his life. God extends that same invitation to us today. What about us? Will we respond? Will we set our face toward Jerusalem? Because if we do, my friends, then praise God. We too will see the glory of the Lord revealed in our own lives. Thank you and have a wonderful weekend.